What's going on with the Kern River? Well, you're about to find out.
This episode is brought to you by Kern River Fly Shop, the most reliable and accurate fishing report for the Southern Sierra and Kern River Valley area. Now here's your host, Guy Jeans.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kern River Fly Shop Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Guy Jeans. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the podcast and the YouTube channel and wherever you're listening to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you're listening to it. We really appreciate you supporting the podcast. Definitely go to YouTube and subscribe. Press that notifications bell if you haven't already. On the YouTube channel, I do show videos, which I'm going to show here shortly, flies, all that kind of stuff. Talk about the locations, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be showing you guys all that. This podcast is brought to you by the Fly Shop, KernRiverFlyShop.com. So definitely check all that stuff out. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But I'm going to start off with the lower Kern. The lower Kern is kind of one of the fisheries that not a lot of people talk about. It happens to be my favorite. It's got a variety of species. The flows right now on the lower Kern are a lot lower than the upper Kern. A lot of people don't know that the flows on the upper Kern are completely different than the lower Kern because the lower Kern is controlled by the Lake Isabella Dam. And so let's talk about the lower Kern flows. They're around 400 cubic feet per second, which is actually, just to give you guys a reference, is actually really good. There's some areas down there where you can wade around and stuff and check it out pretty safely. So water temperatures down there are 50 degrees, which are usually about 10 degrees warmer than the upper Kern. And it's just a neat little area that you can get to. Fly fishing techniques down there. I am seeing some hatches too. I'm seeing some blue-wing olive hatches. And a technique that you can use is a double dry. So use a fly that you can see real good and one that you can't see all that good. Also, the flies that you should be using, blue-wing olive imitation for the surface, as well as a parachute Adams BWO, and also a dry merger underneath that. So fish a fly that you can see, and then also fish a fly right underneath it called a dry merger or an emerging insect underneath that. The hatches are roughly about 1 o'clock, and you'll see them starting to come up and eating the emergers just subsurface. So when you're down there and you're observing the fishing or the fish and the river, you'll see like these little rings coming up or coming off the water, and that could be that they're taking the emergers there. So here's a picture of some of the flies. You guys can check out. These are all flies that work, and the blue-wing olives, a parachute blue-wing olives, a dry merger. Nymphs to use, a zebra midge, WD-40, which is another one. All these are really small, unfortunately, as well. You can also use streamer patterns down there, black and olive buggers, use some streamers with a little bit of flash, bait fish style patterns. The fish are used to eating small bait fish down there. Let's go up to Lake Isabella. Lake Isabella is roughly about half capacity. It's about 225 acre feet. The capacity is 568,000 capacity, and it's about half of that right now. And what happens usually is the Army Corps of Engineers lowers the lake so that the river, the high flows of the river, when it's coming in, will fill up the lake. And so they just kind of get that thing down just in preparation for the high flows coming in May and June. Lake Isabella has actually been fishing okay for crappie. The crappie are roughly about 10 to 15 feet deep. Bass are a little bit deeper than that. We haven't been seeing too many reports about the bass, but they are catching a few crappie here about that depth. Let's hop up to the upper Kern. The Kernville air temps, if you guys aren't familiar with the Southern Sierra, Kernville is kind of the heart of the Southern Sierra fishing. That's where my fly shop is, Kern River Fly Shop. and it's right next to the river, and the upper Kern, the North Fork, flows right through town. Air temperatures in Kernville are going to be 63 degrees today, 38 degrees low. The forecast for Saturday is 64 degrees and 65 on Sunday. So we're actually getting some warm temperatures this weekend. And the flows, we actually got up to 2,500 CFS, and which is pretty good because of that storm. That's a good flow. It kind of murked things up, but it's on its way down. As you guys can see in this video right here, the flows are coming down. It's about 800 today as I'm talking, and by the weekend I expect it to be down right 400 or so probably. Above the KR3, the flows from KR3 up to the Fairview Dam are a lot lower. They're like 350 CFS, and then you have above that Fairview Dam, it's 750 again. So in that low flow section from basically the Kern KR3 power station all the way up to the Fairview Dam, it's a lot lower. It's 350 cubic feet. So above that, I'm going to have higher flows. Water temperature 40 degrees. It's always about 10 degrees warmer on the lower Kern. So that's why I always say, fishing the lower Kern is kind of a great option. Hatches, I haven't seen any hatches on the upper Kern in the last few days just because of the flows. But that doesn't mean that you can't catch fish. If you can see that the flows, along the edges are actually clearing up. Great flies to use are flashy flies in the edges, along the edges. Gummy worms are awesome, different colors, pinks and reds. I'm showing you those right here. Techniques, definitely nymph. Swing flies, fish the edges. When you get those high flows going, the fish aren't going to be out there in that faster current. They're going to all move towards the edges where it's nice and calm, where they don't have to work so hard. So that's a great tip right there, is to definitely fish the edges. Let's go up to Johnsondale Bridge. Past that, go up to Johnsondale, little community up there. The air temperatures are going to be 54 degrees with a low of 27. The Lloyd Meadow Road going down to the Forks of the Kern is closed, so all the creeks along Lloyd Meadow Road you can't get to. You can't get up to Ponderosa or Trail of the 100 Giants just because of the snow, and the roads are closed, the gates are closed up there. Ponderosa is going to have a high of 46 and a low of 25. Pretty cold. Up over the other side, going over the Sherman Pass. You can't get over the Sherman Pass, of course, because there's too much snow, so the gates are locked. Black Rock Station over on the other side, 48 degrees high, 18 low. If you go all the way around out to the 14 from Kernville, take the 178 to the 14, go up to Kennedy Meadows and go up towards Kennedy Meadows, and try to fish the Southfork of the Kern, you're looking at 200 CFS. So not bad over there as well. So there you have it, you guys, a Southern Sierra fly fishing report. Remember, we are guiding on the Owens River right now, which is actually fishing excellent. We've been over there guiding a few days a week and getting some good numbers over there. So definitely, if you want to book a trip on the Owens River with one of our guides, go to kernriverflyshop.com and click on the guide trip link. Also, school dates. March intermediate class on March 2nd. There's still a couple spots left. The March 3rd intro to nymphing and Euro nymphing class is sold out. We do have fly fishing the surf class on March 9th if you want to sign up for that. And in Ventura the next day on March 10th, I'm teaching a fly fishing 101 class, just basic casting. If you want to get somebody into the sport, it's a fly fishing 101 class. Entomology, casting, how to rig up, all that kind of stuff, knots, gear, and equipment. Great way to get somebody, a friend or somebody, into the sport, or if you want to learn a little bit more about entomology as well. Don't forget about our new Kern River Fly Shop rod called the Prodigy. It's a 9-foot 5-weight, comes with a case, and it's a 4-piece rod. Comes with a reel, the rod, the reel, the line, the leader. Great rod. Fishes really, really good. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You guys, we really appreciate you guys watching the podcast and also supporting the podcast. I will be back with more news for the Southern Sierra next week. Thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you soon.